Manager for the Allenton Library, located on 2740 Barnes Avenue, between Arnow and Barnes. A lot of people do not know that that library exists because we're hidden. We're like a hidden gem. Please come check us out. We do offer a lot of activities for all age groups. I mean, look, I couldn't even remember all of them off the top of my head, so I did bring the flyers up myself. I'm gonna start off with saying, those of you that are Star Wars fans, tomorrow we will be showing the new Star Wars movie that just came out at 2:30 p.m. in our community room. You're more than welcome to bring a snack in there, watch the movie. It's free of charge. We got a nice little surround sound system, so it sounds like you're in a bit of a movie theater. We also, for Bronx Week, yes?
Yeah, what's the date for the Star Wars movie?
Tomorrow at 2:30 p.m., yes. So if you're interested, I actually had a couple of my employees walk in the avenue giving out flyers. It is new. It did just arrive into the library. We are going to be showing it. So take advantage of that. It's free. You can bring yourself a snack. We can't provide the snacks. Unfortunately, we can't. Due to safety issues, someone's allergic to something, we give it out. That's us on the line. We won't be there anymore. But for Bronx Week, I am planning a series of events, not only one event. Bronx Week is something special. We are Bronxites. I am going to be doing a kickoff. Bronx Week starts May 5th. I'm going to be doing a kickoff event. There will be some coffee provided. Starts at 2 p.m. I'm going to have like famous Bronxites and a little bit of, we're going to be showing like a little bio of each one, having them on our walls with like a documentary looping. And then also Saturday, May 7th, and Monday, May 9th, we're going to be showing the documentary At Home in Utopia, which is based upon the Allenton Coops. So it is based upon it's a documentary about this neighborhood. I've showed it twice so far last year. I've had extremely good feedback from the community that really liked it. So for those of you that haven't got out and haven't had a chance to see it, I strongly encourage you. The Saturday one, we're going to do it at 2 p.m. And then since we're in extended hours and we are open later, Monday, May 9th, I'm doing it at 5 p.m. just in case with people that work or anything like that. It's about an hour and change. And then on Wednesday, May 11th, I'm going to be showing a documentary that's called From Mambo to Hip Hop, which takes place in the Bronx. It's actually a really cool documentary. Then on Friday the 13th at 2 p.m., we're going to be, last year we did an oral history project. The New York Public Library conducted an oral history project where we got people from the neighborhood. I'm pretty sure some of you did participate in it, where you just basically told the story of you growing up in the actual neighborhood. We're going to recap. So for Bronx Week, we're going to recap on all those stories. So you can actually hear your fellow neighbors' stories of them growing up in the neighborhood. That whole segment and everyone who was recorded in the oral history project are from this neighborhood, are actually some people that are sitting here that go to other meetings. So if you want, we're just going to have like sort of like a memory circle where we could recap, talk about, famous stores that closed down, things you did as a kid. So we're going to be doing that on Friday, May 13th. And then that basically summarizes Bronx Week.
What time is that?
There's different times. I actually left the flyer up there. It has the picture of the old Yankee Stadium on it.
Then go.
So on the 28th of April, Thursday the 28th at 3:30 for kids, we're going to have the new Canine Nature Center. They house injured animals. They're going to be coming in with live animals and teaching the kids about the animals. They're going to, it's like more of a show and tell. The kids, they'll be bringing in 5 different animals. We had them today. The theme was birds of prey. I had about 50 people that came just to see. They brought in an owl, a falcon, and an eagle. Yes, live animals. For the teens, we're actually doing a Lego program. We're having the teens build this entire city of Legos, which we got over 1,000 pieces. That's been going on through the month of April. It will be continuing into May. And once the kids put together these works, I do want to display them in the branch. For adults and any immigrants that are here, we're going to have someone from the U.S. Department of Citizenship and Immigration Services. We're going to actually have a guest representative at the branch on Monday, May 9th at 3 p.m. He'll they'll be answering questions to anyone that needs help gaining their citizenship, or he'll more or less point you in the right direction.
Bilingual?
Bilingual? No, the gentleman that came last time was not bilingual. That's a good question. I'll actually go back and ask that and see if we can get someone that is bilingual, because that's a very good point that you brought up. But they'll be here from the department. We also have materials as well, like the application. We have flashcards so that you can study for the exam that we'll be providing during that training. And then also we got team gaming Thursdays at 3:30. That's going on. We'll be continuing that. That's for the teenagers. We do it for the children as well. And then I don't have the flyer here, but I did leave one. What I wanted to try out, I figured that right now the popular thing that I see going around is wine and paint. Wine and paint for the, unfortunately we cannot provide wine, so we sort of thought of an additional one and we switched it up to coffee and canvas. So we're gonna be providing, it's a test. Registration is required. Right now I only had the funds to buy 10 canvases. They're 10 by 10 canvases. You're more than welcome to stop by the branch and sign up. We're gonna be doing that one on Tuesday, May 24th at 4 p.m.
The flyer doesn't say I was in library. It doesn't have, I just checked it.
Really?
Yeah, it only has, look.
Oh, yes.
Your logo.
There we
Say
go.
where to
Thank you.
register.
Thank you.
It doesn't say anything about registration. I knew it was.
Thank you.
your way.
There we go. I created that. I've been trying to create the flyers for
You're not
May
perfect,
before
but
this
you're
meeting,
good.
so pardon me, I will go
You're not
correct
perfect,
that.
but you're good.
Just so everyone
We
knows,
still love you,
it's
man.
gonna be
Don't
at
worry
the
about it.
Allenton branch, okay? We're gonna try that out. That's sort of like a test. If
So
it
where do we
goes good,
register? How do we register? You gotta call the library or email?
call, come in and register. I only have 10 spots available. If it goes well, I will be conducting, and I get the funds to buy more canvases, I will be doing it a lot more often.
You only have 10 spots, 10 spots left.
10 spots. And I haven't, this is like, you're the first people to hear about this. I'm literally releasing it as of today. So tomorrow you can go to the branch. I already informed my staff. You can start registration. We will be beginning. We'll probably take, because I was iffy whether to do first come, first serve or registration. So what I'll probably do is, I'll probably have a waiting list of about 5 just in case people do not show up. They register and they don't show up. We can always accommodate the people that are on the waiting list. So I'm probably gonna register about 15, but I only have 10 canvases as of right now. I will try to get funding to buy more, but as of now I got 10. It's a test. We're gonna see how this works. Probably once a month, depending on how funding goes, for me to get those canvases. Does anyone have any question? I mean, there's tons of, for kids, I know I didn't really speak too much. I only promoted one kids program. I'm always here promoting for the kids. I wanted to get more for the teens and the adults. Kids programs, we run kids programs every single day of the week. We're open Monday through Saturday. Every single day we have a kids program. Usually the kids programs take place at 3:30, right after school. Any questions, concerns, comments?
This question, doesn't, I don't want to, get on your, library work, but several times I'm also, I have a library card.
Okay.
At your branch. And several times I would go there and use the computer or look at some books or whatever. Always had a problem front the librarian in there. She always gave me a problem, and I witnessed not only with myself,
Okay.
I witnessed other people having problems with her. It seemed like she didn't want to help people, and she wasn't really helpful. And a couple times, I think I did send an email to the branch down at Manhattan about the situation.
Okay, the accent might be up. It'll get rerouted to
Yeah,
me if you
yeah.
do send it downtown.
Just that, when people would go there, or myself, I would go there and just, general things on the computer, I wanted to help, whatever. And she wasn't helpful at all.
Please, when that happens again, I know exactly who you're talking about, right?
Oh, okay.
So when that happens again, please come see me. I've been trying to rectify the situation.
Okay.
I am aware, come see me directly. If not, I do have a second in charge. I'm aware. I know exactly who you're talking about.
Okay.
But thank you for bringing that to my attention, because that's helpful. Anyone else? Anyone else? Excuse me?
Do you have any more flyers for the Yankee Stadium?
I have this one. Did they all go already?
Yes,
Wow.
that's
I
right.
know 20 of each and they're gone already? I'm gonna have to start bringing more. If you want, you can take that one. I do have them posted out.
Yeah, hold on.
Sure, if you want, I'll get them out through email. I'm sorry. Okay, good question. The question was, can you donate books to the library? Right now, no. As of now, if they stopped it, I can explain because people are kind of curious as to why. So before we used to, way back when, we used to enter the books at the branch. Now we have a contract with the company that we buy the books from, that they come processed with all the labels for the library already. So that's more or less. So you giving us the books, there's no way of really getting those processed and into the system. They would have to be like shipped out, relabeled and all that, so it's too much. So they kind of cut that part out. Yeah, usually what I refer people to when they come with books is a church, a senior center, local daycare. Sometimes they take those in depending on the conditions of the books.
But don't you do like a book sale?
So yes, okay. When sometimes the library will do, they're not supposed to do, we could do them like annually, quarterly. If we do book sales to raise money for our branch, we can collect donations. So sometimes you'll see a branch open up a period of time, like we'll be collecting donations for a month and then stop. It's for a purpose of that. I did it at one point and then I stopped it because I was getting tons of material. And if you notice on my book drop outside, I do have signs that says library material only, no donations. Because when people come, they stick donations in the nighttime. When I open it up, the thing is all the way to the bottom filled with donations, and we just get rid of them. So they go straight to the garbage, if anyone wants to know. I mean, I try to ask people. Okay, all right. Any other questions? Sorry, thank you. I had a lot this time. Thank you. Thank you all.
So our one big, can you hear me?
Yes.
Our one big announcement is, please, if you see graffiti, if you see dirty, like a sidewalk that you walk by every time and it's just littered, or an empty lot that just littered again, we have the resources. We just need the constituents to provide the directions and the addresses, specific addresses, so we can send our people to go and do that cleanup. If they do the cleanup one day and then in a week you see that it's dirty again, call us back. We'll continue putting people on those same routes. You can either call the office at 718-842-8100, or you can email me at renea@council.nyc.gov. Yes, ma'am.
My son keeps reporting all of the dog poop on Arno Avenue between Matthews Avenue and West Main Road, and nobody ever seems to do anything about it.
So unfortunately, the resources that we have at the moment are exclusively for graffiti removal and just littering garbage. If you see that, please report it. Continue to report the dog poop issues. The more complaints that we have registered on that, the more that our council member can do something about it. Be sure to call 311. Be sure to get the complaint number. Then call us and give us the complaint number that 311 gives you. So,
when you call 311, give them a time that it happened. I already reported the dog poop that goes on outside of 2418 Oldville, which is wearing an Oldville. I said to them between 5 a.m. and 6:30. When you do that, my number's on here. Give me a call, leave me a voicemail, and tell me the exact times, and I'll email sanitation or just call them. But they need an exact time.
you can either call the office, which is 718. I think it should be on the agenda here. 718-842-8100. You don't have to speak to me. You can speak to anyone. They will take the location, or you can email me at renea@council.nyc.gov. Councilmember Richie Torres. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you, man.
Basically, it's the same thing for the last time I was here, but I got dates for you for all the events. June 1st through the 17th. We're gonna have the pop-up station for the new state IDs that are coming out. 625 Fordham Road. It's the Renaissance Daycare Center there. Go in, get your IDs. Like I said before, you have a lot of benefits getting them. They give you 50% off your prescriptions. You can go to the Bronx Zoo, the aquarium, all Queens, Manhattan, all 5 boroughs. You can get in there for free. Free membership free here. So we're gonna have that pop-up
This is
station.
the ID NYC, right?
Yes.
Great.
Yes.
I highly suggest it.
Yes.
Yep, I
June
wanna get
1st
that.
to the 17th, 625 East Fordham Road. It's called the Renaissance Adult Daycare. Okay,
What
please.
time to what time?
They're gonna be there from 9 to 4. And the last day, the 17th, they're only gonna be there till 9 to 1 because they're gonna break down the stations.
Doesn't matter, you have to do.
June 1st. The date.
It doesn't matter if you have the, it doesn't matter, because I have the regular state ID and I was able to get that with no problem. Yes, please go for it, you get a lot of.
625 East Fordham.
East Fordham is the Renaissance Daycare. June 1st to the 17th. June 11th, from 11 to 3, Pope Park. I have a big health fair going on. I got all different hospitals going in. I have all different agencies. We're gonna have the mammogram van, the dentist van. I mean, whatever you could imagine. Metro Plus is coming with the popcorn machine. We're gonna have face painting for the kids and all that. Please come join us for that.
Can you volunteer if you have a particular fitness program?
Yes, if you want on the agenda, my number is there. For the Assemblyman Jose Rivera, you can call me. You could even have a table. Of course, there's no charge, no nothing. If you want to join us, give me a call. It'll probably be a little too late for the flyers to add you, but you can come if you want. Okay? Any kind of fitness or whatever, you're more than welcome. It's a health fair, anything. April 30th. I know these things are on the other side, but please try to come join us. We're having a pet expose in St. James. Any animal, not just dogs or cat. You want a parrot or whatever it is, if they want to come join us, we're going to have shows, we're going to have trucks.
Oh, come on.
So those are the 2 big main ones. Got a lot of other stuff going on in different schools, but it's a pet expo day.
Is that to adopt or just to?
We're trying, ASPCA is going to be there, and we're trying to work, but sometimes because of certain permits, so we're trying to see if that can be done, but they'll definitely will be there.
What time?
Yeah.
From 11 to 3.
Where again?
That's St. James Park,
St. James
and that's April 30th.
Where's St.
It's
James?
on Jerome Avenue, under the 4 train. Yeah.
Between
By,
Is it by the park? Like you go up one hill?
after Kingsbridge. On West, like by West.
It's across the street from Pole Park.
That's where we
and
have
the
it.
other side.
I know, Pope, it's more.
Yeah,
it's
and the
more
other
down,
side.
more down, okay? So that's
closer to
April
Jerome.
30th. Bring your pets, whatever it is. Come join us. It's gonna be a lot of
I know
fun,
where they're
okay,
at.
guys? That's really basically it. Official Douglas has all the representatives working like crazy. They can all agree with us, right? Enjoy your evening, guys, okay? See you next time.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. My name is Gina Klein. I'm from State Senator Jeff Klein's office. I just have 2 small announcements. On May 7th at St. Teresa's School in the gym from 11 to 2, we are having a festival and carnival. If you're interested, you can call our office.
Where's that?
St. Teresa's is off of Pelham Bay. So if you're interested, you can call an RSVP with our office. I have some pamphlets over there if you would like. It has the phone number and some additional information. The second announcement is that we are also participating in the graffiti removal. So if you have any locations, you can please send it to our office, either after the meeting or via telephone. Like I said, I have some pamphlets with additional information. So if you see any locations, you can contact our office and we'll make sure it will get attended to. And other than that, I have no further announcements, but thank you for your time.
Senator Ruth Hazel Thompson sends her regards. We have a little good news and bad news. Off of the bud, they had a meeting of the mothership. That's when the 3 men in the room and the governor sit down. The part of the crime package that was taken out was raise the age. She's trying to get it back in. I'll get into Discovery for Justice when that topic comes up. On May the 22nd, Senator Ruth Hazel Thompson's office, in conjunction with BPECA, we're gonna have it's My Park Day. with Big Farm at Bronx Park East. We're gonna beautify the garden at Bronx Park East in Arno, between the Coops and Parkside. Raphael reminded me that it's probably better because of the soccer stadium to do it closer to the Parkside. But we invite you to come and join us there. We're gonna be doing other events in other parts of the district as well throughout the summer. But we're gonna start it off here in Bronx Park East.
What time?
It's gonna be from noon to 6, so on May 22nd. Okay, and then we're also working on something on the other side of the Parkway, lower, also that the senator will be sponsoring, and hopefully BPECA will be talking about it. In terms of, she's bringing Bronx Can, working with the other legislators in terms of slimming up, eating better this summer. We're gonna be dancing in the senior centers. I'll be the dancer, so I'll be working on that. And but I just wanted to wish everyone a Zicin Pesach, happy Passover, and happy holidays. Thank you very much.
Wallace Avenue. White Plains Road to Wallace Avenue.
From White Plains Road up to Williamsbridge.
Okay, but
This is phase one at the moment.
from White Plains Road to Wallace Avenue is what they're doing now.
It's phase one.
Exactly. They're replacing the walking path. They're going to put a brand new walking path. They're going to, I believe they're going to put bike paths on the parkway. Why don't you them?
Okay, what they're doing now on from White Plains Road to Williamsbridge Road is the $1 million park beautification. They are going to put all new grass, new benches. They are taking away a lot of benches. They will put new benches. They're going to put an underground sprinkler system, irrigation system. Yeah, it's going to be underground. The path he's talking about is going to be behind where the Parks building is coming from around there, all the way from by Highway 1 and then up across the road and up towards where it's going to continue on to like it does now. That's going to be another bike path. That's the construction beyond White Plains Road. And also a dog park is coming behind the building on Boston Road where the green yes, but you know where the green hut is? There's going to be a dog park there. So the funding is there. That will be start construction later on this year, hopefully.
Water fountain. Also, I spoke to contractors at barbecue section.
No, there will be no barbecuing
Contractor told me.
There will be no barbecuing sections.
That's what you tell them.
I can tell you what he wants, but there's not going to be.
Contractor told me. All right.
We're gonna need a new contract.
Guys, hold on.
Contractor says, you know what I mean?
White Plains Road on Pelham Parkway North, are they gonna start putting in the sidewalks? Or when?
No, that's another issue. I'll talk about that afterwards.
But the orange fencing is along there, so they're.
That's to protect what they're doing, and that's also part of the beautification. That whole north side.
So they're gonna beautify and then rip up and put inside.
Thank you very much, yes. Your tax dollars are worth.
Beautify and then rip it up and put it inside.
Exactly. To get to that, let me let you know that Monday at the community board office, there's going to be a meeting regarding Pelham Parkway North construction. It's open to the public, but it was not made, the public has not been made aware of it. So I'm making you aware. You can all come at 7 o'clock.
If everyone has, if everyone has a green meeting agenda, on the lower half of the paper is a calendar. Monday, April 18th, you'll see Community Board 11 Executive Committee meeting on Pelham Parkway reconstruction. By all means, show up.
Yes,
I'll be there.
Wow. Go ahead.
I would like to know why is it that all the construction starts by Beth Abraham on back. When it gets to Bronx Park East here, by the Coops, everything stops.
What construction are you referring to?
And the bike right here, where you talking about where the bike's at, where all the orange is at.
Oh, it's eventually gonna go down that way.
Everything is always eventually, but you put a skate park there, no water fountain. I don't understand that.
Well, the only thing I can say to you, when they have these public forums, you have to come and voice your concerns.
That's common sense.
But they say they can only, Guy from Park says they can only do it in phases.
It might be common sense, but they only have some money for certain things, and if nobody requests that,
No, well,
it's not gonna, like the dog park, there's not gonna be any water there. That's what we voted on.
There's always water. Bronx Park is going down. They
I'm
have a
just saying.
basketball court.
Right.
They have the
If you
kids
have-
area.
Steph-
They have a water fountain. We have kids that skateboard.
This is
play
Stephanie.
up there.
You
No water fountain.
You've spoken to Romina of Councilman Toro's office about it, right?
I spoke about it.
Right. Romina, if you can get in touch with Parks Department, see if we can return some of those park benches and possibly put a water fountain. With water, we have to move a little bit the meeting along, so that's why I'm speaking quickly. The water fountain might need capital dollars, maybe in conjunction with another project, so maybe something for next year's participatory budgeting ballot. With the bike lanes, that area in Bronx Park East was already done with the bike lanes. These, hold on, let me finish. The bike lanes that they're doing between Allerton Avenue all the way to Pelham Parkway North is the Bronx River Greenway, where they're trying to connect, they're trying to connect a whole bunch of Bronx Park with bike lanes. And it was already done from Allerton up through East 233rd Street, to my understanding. If you go in Bronx Park East from Allerton to East 233rd Street, you'll see the bike lanes are pretty new. They're new. So this construction that's going on is for the Greenway. And it was already done from Allerton on north. Now they're doing from Allerton to Pelham Parkway.
You say it's pretty new. Have you seen the asphalt on Bronx Park East, right there by that skating rink? It starts from the beginning of the park and then it stops.
Anyway.
And then it goes down to the end and then it starts again. Makes no sense.
Okay, Stephanie, over the next couple of days, I will try to meet you in the park and walk through it with you.
Yes, that's
Good.
it.
Okay, Stephanie, you have my number, right?
Yeah.
Don't, just, Stephanie, just harass me, okay? Thank you, Andrea.
And also remember, Tuesday is election day. Please go out and vote, because then you have absolutely no right to moan and bitch if you don't like something.
The Assemblyman is unable to be here. My name is Lindsay Copeland. I'm here from Assemblyman Mark Jonai's office. I just... He's too short. You can't hear me? No.
And get a little closer.
Oh, I thought I spoke loud enough. I apologize. My name is Lindsay Copeland. Unfortunately, the Assemblyman is not able to be here. He's working on a campaign event for Hillary Clinton, which will occur tomorrow, April 15th, 10:45 a.m. to 12 p.m. at Mount St. Vincent Smith Hall at 6301 Riverdale Avenue. So you're all welcome to come. We also are having a Pelham Parkway cleanup project on this Saturday, April 16th, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. We'll be meeting at Williamsbridge Road and Pelham Parkway. We do need volunteers, so if anybody's interested, you can show up that day or you can call the office to volunteer. As Andrea said, don't forget to come out and vote on Tuesday. It's primary day. And also, I wanted to let everybody know that Bronx Day is taking place May 24th. We have flyers at the table regarding that. And if you'd like to reserve a spot on the bus, you're more than welcome to call the office and reserve a spot. Okay? We also have flyers regarding the cleanup. And also, we are we're starting a legal series this year, and the first thing in our series is going to be on sanitation. I know a lot of people get different sanitation tickets or violations, so we're going to have somebody from the New York City Sanitation Department talking to everybody about how to either avoid tickets or how then to contest your tickets or follow through on trying to challenge them or take care of them.
What day is that?
That is on April 21st, and it's going to be at Bronx House from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. And we're going to follow up with a bunch of other different legal forums of interest for the constituents. Thank you.
A couple of upcoming events. First, our monthly meeting is going to be May 3rd. We're going to be starting it a little early at 6 o'clock because we're going to be hosting the free Rad Academy for homeowners and also people in buildings to learn how to take care of rats. They're going to be giving tips and ways of preventing rats from entering the home and prevent them from the properties. They're also going to be giving away a free rodent-resistant garbage can. You have to register for the event. So that we're going to be posting it on the Facebook pages of BPECA, Allerton International Merchants, Community Board. If you don't have Facebook, you can email us at allertonmerchants.com and we'll give you all the information on how to register.
Allertonmerchants at Gmail, isn't it?
917-355-4554. Okay, and we'll text you the information of how to register for it. Yes, Brian?
917-355, what's the rest?
4554.
4554.
Okay, also, May 8th, we're having our annual Mother's Day cleanup. It's gonna start from 10 to 1, we're meeting in front of the stands. Now, we've been getting some inquiries from people if their kids can volunteer to log in hours for their schools, because some of them need them for graduation. It's a great opportunity. Anybody who wants to do that, they're more than welcome to come. We will gladly fill out any forms after the event for anyone who wants to log in some volunteer hours. Okay? Yes.
Oh, perfect. I actually get a lot of I get a lot of students coming to my branch wanting volunteer hours, and I'm at a point where I already got interns working. I have to turn them down, so they're always looking like for alternatives. I will
Any event that we
send them
do, we're glad to have any of the kids volunteer, and we'll fill out any forms that they need for their schools to log into
I'll be
volunteer
sending
hours.
them. What? So should I refer them to the email? Or
Yes,
should I have
confirm
them
to
email you?
let us know that they're coming, so that way we can make sure that we fill out any forms that they bring with us, bring with them to the event.
Okay, first I thought the meeting was gonna be 6:30.
We're starting it at 6.
Okay. And the email, you just correct, it's allertonmerchants@gmail.com.
What did I say?
You said allertonmerchants.com.
Oh, allertonmerchants@gmail.com. Thanks, Larry. Anything else? All right, thanks, guys. Have a good day.
So, as you know, I just gave you a little bit of bad news because that was something that the senator's been working very hard in the criminal package that she's doing. Senator Ruth Hassel Thompson is the only member of the Senate who has 2 committees as a ranking member. The judiciary that works with the Supreme Court and all the courts in the state of New York, but also the Crime Victims and Corrections Committee, which deals with prisons. She recently was able to get $6 million to convert the old Fulton jail down in the South Bronx with the Osborne Association. So it could be a one-stop shop. We're trying to change the culture of, not just saying jobs and not jail, but when someone completes their debt to society, they have to come back to our neighborhood and work in the community. And that's hard when you have a record and these things happen. So we're trying to work with the Osborne Association, the Fortune Society, to get people real opportunities to work, education, and process also, because we have our family. She was one of the people, alongside with Senator Klein and all the other legislators, Assemblyman Jonai, to change the system in terms of counting prisoners in prison. So what would happen was that people would do the census as prescribed in the Constitution, and you would have to be counted. But when you were counted in prison, as a prisoner, the person that was assigned to that area, upstate New York, got that number as part of their constituency. But the monies that they receive only benefited those that were outside the prison. So all the people that were in prison, upstate New York, they were counted for that money, and the people down here in New York City, where majority of people were being incarcerated from, do not get that money. So we changed it, just like when I was in college and I was able to vote in the primary as an away student, the same thing counts. I registered for the census when I was away in Florida as a resident of New York. So that law changed so people be counted. The monies go where people are counted. And the support system of the families that are people who are incarcerated are in the city. So that was able to change the law to make it happen. Now I speak about this because everything is interrelated. Okay, in terms of the discovery for justice aspect, we have an arcane law called 240, Civil Procedure Law 240. What happens is that when one person is accused of a crime, you've heard of the word habeas corpus, right? It's Latin for produce the body. Well, what happens in New York and a few other states is that we don't have habeas corpus to the defendant. So does it matter? You're white or black, gay or straight, disabled, able, doesn't matter. If you're rich or poor, it doesn't matter. You could have the richest attorney, or you could have the overburdened legal aid representative. You do not have the right as a defendant to get that representation. So what happens is the crucial discovery rules are not, discovery is basically the evidence against you, right? Produce the body. That doesn't happen when it comes to New York. Now you go across the river in Hudson River and you can get your discovery. Here, you don't have it. There's 13 states that have it, including Texas, where anybody gets executed for any reason. New York, we're trying to change the law for open, early, and automatic discovery. Changing the law requires to repeal CPL 240 and enact 245. 245 only means that when you get accused of a crime upon arraignment, not at the end, when you're about to make a deal, and even if you didn't do it, you have to make a deal. And what happens when you make a deal? You get cut out, everything happens, you cannot qualify for a home loan, you cannot qualify for any loans, you can't qualify for a business license. So this stuff affects people, and when we're getting our kids stopped and frisked, they have a situation that they have a record, and then when they have a second record, that's it. They have to make a deal. So in doing this law, BPECA, Senator Hassel Thompson, and Discovery for Justice got together and said we have to fight this injustice because it affects everybody. If you're accused of a crime, no one wants witness names to be mentioned. No one wants, people to know anything that's not supposed to be out there. But I want you to have my habeas corpus. So, yeah, question.
Yes, the habeas corpus.
Yeah.
I just want to say to clarify that a habeas corpus, you have to be very careful. It's called a writ of habeas corpus, and lawyers use that when they want a body to produce in the court. And you don't need to make a law. It's the writ of habeas corpus where you say produce the body, bring the body here. So I don't know. I get worried when they change laws because I think
it has nothing. Okay, right now you have that right to rid of habeas corpus, except that when you are a defendant, you have a right to know what's against you. Okay, when someone if you did something, right? You did something, and someone's accusing you. Wouldn't you want to know everything that's being accused of you?
But that's not what it means.
And we got to move on. But I just want you to know, I'm giving you that courtesy to answer you, that if someone's accusing you of a crime, you have the right to defend yourself. You can't defend yourself if you have your hands tied behind your back. You got to defend yourself. Okay? Okay. Thank you.
We're going to move on because we have to go into our preferential rent section. So
hello. Preferential rent is something that I hate. It's been around like forever. I just want to explain what it was and what it is now. When you had a preferential rent, it meant that when you moved into an apartment, the apartment was listed at a higher rate than you were able to afford, or a higher rate that the landlord would be able to rent out to. So let's say the apartment was $1,200, and he rented it to you for $800 because he knew he wasn't going to be able to get the $1,200. That's what's a preferential rent. So you would pay $800 a month. Then when your lease expired, the increase would be based on the $800. So the preferential rent was as long as the tenancy. A couple of years ago, that changed. And now they made it so that the preferential rent is only as good as the lease, or the length of the lease. So I'm paying $800. The real rent is $1,200. So when my lease expires, the landlord can either raise it to the 1,200, or he could raise it 100 or whatever. He can't raise it more than, what's lawful. And the problem that I have with that is that, let's say I'm an activist, and I happen to live in a very good building, but let's say I didn't live in a good building, and I had a leak, and I called the landlord, and nothing happened, and I'm waiting 4 months, and the leak has gotten worse. I called 311. HPD comes in, they give the landlord a violation for the leak. It goes on record. He doesn't do anything about it. Then HPD comes and makes the repairs and charges the landlord double of what it would have cost him to fix it. But now the landlord says, Hazel's a bitch. I can't stand her, she's a troublemaker. So now when my lease comes up, he's gonna raise it to the 1,200. Now they don't always do that. They usually base it on whatever you're actually paying. That's the good ones. But now that I am making trouble for him, my rent is gonna go up to 1,200, and I'm on a fixed income. I'm not gonna be able to afford that, so what's gonna happen? I'm gonna have to move. Somebody just walked in that's gonna explain this a lot better than me. But that's one of the biggest problems that we have with this preferential rent, and it's all legal. But what I tell my clients when they come to me, I say, get a rent history of your apartment to make sure that you're not being overcharged. Because just because he's telling you that that apartment is going for $1,200 doesn't necessarily mean it's going for $1,200. So you really have to know your rights and protect yourself. So I'm going to hand this over to someone that I've known ever since I've been doing organizing. He's an old friend. I haven't seen him in years, but Raphael can introduce him.
So a couple of months ago, we had a meeting about New Beginnings Animal Rescue, and what does that have to do with it? We passed around a little bag and we collected money for New Beginnings Animal Rescue. Now I'm all in favor of supporting animal shelters, but I'm going to pass around the bag because actually tomorrow, the organization that he runs is having a fundraiser, and it is to support tenants. Because if we don't have a home, we are going to be on the streets. And a big problem in New York City is homelessness, and this comes from lack of affordable housing. And affordable housing, there's many causes of this. But he's going to explain what Tenants PAC does, what Real Rent Reform Committee does. So I'd like to introduce the treasurer of Tenants PAC and a part of the Real Rent Reform, otherwise known as R3, Real Rent Reform Campaign, Michael McKee.
Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Please excuse me for being late. You can blame it on my computer. My email is totally unfunctional, which is a disaster the night before our fundraiser tomorrow night and 4 days before an election on Tuesday. Anyway, let me just, Raphael asked me to speak about preferential rent. And first I want to tell you the story of how this happened, because it's a good illustration of how we get screwed in Albany, time after time. Before 2003, which was a sunset year, meaning the rent laws were up for renewal in Albany, there was a provision in the rent stabilization system that if the landlord was collecting what's called a preferential rent, which is any rent lower than the legal rent for whatever reason, the landlord is doing a favor for somebody, the legal rent is higher than what the local market will support, for whatever reason the landlord is not collecting the legal rent, that's called a preferential rent. Before 2003, the law provided that if the landlord collected a preferential rent from a tenant, he had to renew the tenant's lease based on the preferential rent. And only when the tenant moved could he go back to the legal rent. In 2003, on the very last night of the legislative session, Governor George Pataki, remember him? Yeah. Sent out a governor's program bill which renewed the rent laws for 8 years, which no one was expecting. An 8-year extender was totally unheard of, and it was very bad for us because until we get the laws in a form that we need them to be, the longer the extender, the worse it is for us. Because what happens is when the rent laws get renewed, the tenant movement sort of goes back to sleep. People go back to doing what they were doing locally. Not that that's not important, it is important. And you can't really whip people up to put pressure on the politicians in Albany. So he came out with this bill at 2 minutes of midnight. The rent laws were expiring at midnight, which renewed all of the state rent laws that were expiring and the co-op conversion laws for 8 years, and made 2 changes. Both of the changes were weakening amendments. One change was to tighten the ERSTAT law, which is the law that prohibits New York City from enacting stronger rent laws. And that's named after Governor Nelson Rockefeller's housing commissioner, Charles J. ERSTAT, who, by the way, is still alive in his 80s. And that was the bill that took home rule away from New York City in 1971. And this amendment in 2003 tightened it, made it even more restrictive. The second amendment was to make it possible for landlords to jump from the preferential rent to the legal rent when the tenant renews the lease. Remember, before that, it only was when the tenant moved. If the landlord was charging a preferential rent, he had to base the renewal on that preferential rent. But now, the law says upon renewal or vacancy. So what happens, I'm sure you know, and I'm sure Hazel and others have talked about this,